Hi, I'm Pamela, and welcome to Greenstick Cottage, where I stitch every chance I can get whenever the cats allow me to. And one cat in particular has not been very forthcoming with that allowance today. She is in season, and she, for a long time, was wanting to be on top of all my stuff that I gathered to do this video with, but I managed to get her to, I just kept putting her down on the floor, but she may come back, so fair warning. First of all, I wanted to talk about the New Year's Eve 12 by 12 and the benefits I derived from doing that. I was really surprised at how helpful that was, and I'm hoping to do something similar with my Yarny projects and maybe even my books in the future because some of the benefits I wanted to talk about. One of the things I noticed while I was doing, I did 11 WIPs and 2 new starts during those 12 hours. And one of the new starts was kind of incidental. I didn't plan on it for sure, but I'll explain that later. But anyway, doing all those projects back to back, I was able to see the differences, the things that were working for me and things that were not working for me as well, and to make direct comparisons to tools and supplies and materials and things like that. And I discovered, like, I have a couple of projects that I'm using J&P Coats thread on floss, and when those were sandwiched between the projects with DMC floss, I really noticed the difference, and resolved I won't be. I'm going to finish those 2 projects with the J&P Coats palette that I chose. But I'm not going to plan any more. I'm not going to purchase any more J&P Coats floss. I will stick to DMC. So that was one of the things I noticed. I also noticed needles. That I started a kit that was an 18 count fabric in the kit, but a size 24 needle. I was struggling with it, and then finally I thought, I think this needle's too big. Got out my needles. I think I got a 28 or something, but anyway, I switched, and immediately I was able to stitch much easier. And I thought, why do they do that? So even on kits, I'm gonna have to decide what needles I want to work with, whether the needle in the kit fits that bill or not. And so thankfully I have a big supply of needles. But I'm also trying new ones because that was the other thing, was that, the quality of the tools we use is what contributes to our enjoyment. At least for me, I discovered this, that, it's so much, it's so much easier and more fun to have my needle going in and out so easily on the fabric. So that's one thing, and so I resolved to, try some other brands and things to figure out where my comfort zone is. Next, I was using document tubes to store my projects, my WIPs, and just getting ready for the 12 by 12. And having to get everything out of these tubes, and it was so annoying. Listen to this. I know you've heard it from me before, but even I got so sick of it, and I just thought, I'm not dealing with these anymore. Even the little one, it's not nearly as loud, but it's just an extra step I don't really need to be doing, and I'm not anyway. So I decided to look for a different storage solution, which I will show later. And I've just kind of resolved, when it comes to acquisitions, that quality is more important to me than quantity. And since I'm on a budget and I'm pretty frugal, that means fewer things when I have to go, for more premium materials and things. And so, I won't be cutting corners with J&P coats and things like that anymore. It's just not, in the end, it's not worth it. Misty, she is not in heat, but I'm afraid since Rosie is, that she's going to follow soon. But right now she's just doing her usual, looking around for a place to get cozy and take a nap. So, and so since I'm changing containers, so to speak, because I won't be using these, I decided to employ, because that's another thing, is I'm not made of money, so I can't just buy project bags willy-nilly. And I needed to come up with a solution that I could afford that would accommodate as many projects as I want to manage, And that's another thing. You have to decide, or I had to decide, what is my... Nope, this is not for you to sharpen your claws on, honey. Let me move that. That I have to find my limit of how many WIPs I can manage. So WIP management was important. So to that, between those things, I decided I'm going to try to follow the container concept, which I learned from Dana K. White, who wrote Decluttering at the Speed of Life and a couple of other books, I believe. And so the container concept, I had to decide, okay, so how many WIPs? Well, on the 12 by 12, I got my WIPs up to 12. So I looked for 12 containers for my WIPs. So I'll go into that in a minute. I've lost my notes. Oh, there it is. And so I'll show those the solution I came up with. And also the other benefit to the 12 by 12 was I discovered things that were missing. One thing in particular, one of my WIPs, I had the WIP, I have the pattern, I could not find the threads, the floss for that, and I had already made a start on it. I'll show that later. And so I was able to, make those kind of assessments and make notes to myself, order the threads for that again, because I still couldn't find them after the 12 by 12 was over. So I did order threads for that, and now it's back in rotation. All right, so that is those were just the thoughts I wanted to share about the New Year's Eve 12 by 12. And I'm thinking it might be even better for somebody like me to do this, 2 times a year, maybe even every quarter, to reassess and see where I'm at. But, for now, I've at least tried it. I know I like it, and there we go. Right after 12 by 12, I decided I was so close to finishing Joy in the Journey, which is a project that I started January 8th, or no, let me take that back. I started it November 2020, and this is Joy in the Journey. It's a kit from Jan Lynn, and I just had the outer border partially done on the top. And I was thinking, and this is another benefit to the 12 by 12. Going into the 12 by 12, I thought I could just knock out this outer border in the hour assigned to this particular project. And I found out, no, that is not how fast I stitch. I have a more realistic idea, knowledge of how fast I stitch. So I think I got across and down a little bit. I think that's as far as I got on it. And so I figured, since that's my oldest WIP of recent vintage that's not like 30 years old, I decided that that's what I was going to start to work on. in 2024. That's going to be the first project for me. And so I did finish it on January 8th. I did finish that outer border. And so I have an actual finish here. Let's see. Misty, you go on. And that's Rosie you can hear in the background. Let's see if I can clip this on here and show the whole thing and have both hands available. So there we are. And let's see if I can flatten it out. And I put 2024 on here. So, and we have cat fuzzies. So there it is. And so now I think I already got a frame for this, so I'm going to have to look for that. And in the past, when I have framed cross stitch pieces, I have just kind of taped it or glued it or something like that. I wasn't always happy with that, but I didn't know how to do it any differently. I know there's lacing. I've heard of that. So if anyone, if you can recommend any framing tutorials to me, I would love that. I would love to check those out and get some ideas so I can frame this properly and in a way that will last and, be good for the piece itself. So that's Joy in the Journey, and I love the kit. I love the fabric was good. The flosses were good. I'm pretty sure they're either DMC or DMC equivalent. The numbers seem to match the DMC numbers, so I'm pretty happy with that. So that is, let's see, I think I'll start stacking them up here, but if Misty comes back, I'll have to move them. So, since I finished something, I rewarded myself with a new start. Now I got fuzzies in my hair. And what I decided to start with is Family Origins. I've talked about this one before. I've planned to start it before. And now I finally have. So let's get it set up here. And I started with page 1. I believe there are 12 pages altogether to this pattern. What it is it is a 5-generation family tree. And so it will start with me. So there's a tree, a big tree, and plaques on the tree to represent each generation. So, it goes like this. I didn't do it right. So page 1 is the upper left part of the chart. And so I got the border, the top part of the border done here. I've got everything done that's on page 1 here, except for the little red fruit, I guess, or berries, or whatever they're supposed to be in that border. So hopefully I can get the red done tonight. And then this is like a line that goes here, and then the words Family Origins will go across here, and then this same line will finish over here, and that's page 1, 2, and 3. So left, middle, and right. And this is anyway, I forgot to say what Joy in the Journey. Joy in the Journey was on 14 count Aida in ivory or cream, but it was an off-white color. And so this one, Family Origins, is on, and I worked that 2/1 on the Joy in the Journey. Family Origins is, I'm using 32 count raw natural Belfast linen, and I'm working 2/2 on it. And using the called for DMC threads. And I'm using an Easy Guide ball tip needle, size 26, working 2/2. I think I already said that. And I started it on January 8th of this year. So this is how far I've gotten. It is 167 by 277 stitches, the finished piece. And I am loving this linen. I'm loving working with it. I'm loving my Easy Guide needle right here. And I'm going to be ordering more of those for linen and even weave. It didn't work well for me on Aida type fabrics. So, but for these kind, it works great for me. So I will be getting more of those. They're pretty, I think they're $8 for 2 of them. So they're, they're not cheap. And I did lose this one and then found it stuck in my sleeve. Thank goodness. But I'm going to, on my next order, at 123 Stitch, I'll be ordering more of those because in case I do lose a needle, I want to make sure I have enough backups to feel safe I won't feel safe from the lost needle, obviously, because that was my other fear on that. But I will anyway, at least I'll feel safe that I can replace a lost needle. I forgot to show the threads for this. It's not a big palette for this, and I probably should have pulled up the pattern, at least the picture of the pattern. But these are the threads, and I thought they worked like this line. The color there, I can't remember what color it was, what DMC number. It's a lot like the color of the linen, but it still stands out really well 2/2. So I'm real happy with that. Anyway, the way the pattern goes is that it's got the plaques. So it starts at the top with yourself at the top of the tree, and each generation down until you get towards the roots where your great, so it's like me, my parents, my grandparents, great-grandparents, and great-great-grandparents. So I have all those names, birth and death dates, and I'm the only one who hasn't died yet. So anyway, so it kind of makes me sad, while at the same time I feel like it's honoring my parents and the rest of my ancestors, and it's a record for my children and grandchildren, and to see so they can remember the same people that I loved. And so I never met my great-great-grandparents, but I did know my great-grandparents. So so that's family origins, and hopefully I've got everything there. And then so that's my new start, and that's all I've been working on since New Year's. And if my hair looks weird, it's because I've got a treatment on it. And it's bothering me, but I've got this leave-in treatment on there because I got very bad chlorine damage from my 2 hours of swimming when I would go to the gym, and so I'm losing, a lot of my hair has broken off, and I'm still losing more hair breaking off. So I'm going to do the best I can with it. Then I'm going to go to the beautician and probably get a haircut and start all over. All right, so next, so that's all I've been working on is the family origins. So I haven't rotated to any new WIPs yet, but I did get some haul this month already, and let me get rid of these. These are in the way, and Oh yeah, I was gonna, oh, I'll talk about that with the container concept thing. Not that, I'll talk about that later. So the first order I got was from Amazon, and I talked about this in a previous video, that I checked this book out of the library called Self-Care Cross Stitch, and I loved it, and I had so many out of the 40 patterns that are in here. I probably wanted to make 3/4 of them. I mean, I didn't count them all up, but there were a lot of them. And so this is my copy that I went ahead and ordered. It's a hardcover, and it was like, anyway, 13 something at Amazon. So I got this. So now I have it. I can take my time. I can make all of the patterns that I want to make. And the first one that I'm going to make is the first one in the book, if you turn pages. And let me cover up the chart. And it is called Move Joyfully. And it's one of the very beginner patterns. It has one cross stitch up here, which is newbie or novice or something, I think is the way she, this book is written by Stephanie Rohr, and she's the designer. And I love this. And it's, I'm trying to look over. Here we go. Maybe that'll work. This one is very meaningful to me because I hope I don't start crying, but because I was bedbound and wheelchair bound for years, and now because I've lost 320 pounds, I am able to walk now, and I've been able to walk for at least 2, maybe 2.5 years. So I don't take that for granted, that I can move joyfully instead of in constant pain like I was before. So I'm much happier, and I know the joy of being able to move after not being, after being in chronic pain, constant pain, even when I wasn't moving. And so now being able to move and walk and go where I need to go, and like just gathering all the things that I'm going to show you on this video is an accomplishment that I never could have done 3 years ago. And so it's, I'm reorganized. I'm getting my craft room cleaned up and reorganized, and it kind of became a dumping ground when nobody knew where to put things, and and I couldn't keep up with it or anything. So to be able to have my craft room back, even though I still got a lot of work to do on it, and the fact that I can do the physical things necessary. I may have to pace myself and things like that, or get help sometimes with heavy things. But just being able to walk and go to a store, I still use a walker because of balance issues and neuropathy, but I can go shopping, and I can visit my family, and I can, it's just, what a blessing. And so that's what this piece represents for me, is that feeling of joy when I can move. So I did order the threads for that, and this comes with a little. This book comes with a little errata, or at least I guess there's a chart or two that you've got to go download because it didn't get fully, didn't fully fit on the page or something. I don't know, but I'll have to read that later and figure it out. And so I did order. I did already had some fabric. I don't know, a few years ago I got. I ordered some sample packs from 123 Stitch, and they were just, you know, little samples like this. And I ordered Aida even weave and linen. I can't remember. I think this is an even weave. But I thought it looked really pretty, kind of a blue sky with some clouds in it. And I thought it would work really well for that piece. And here are the threads for it. And anyway, I love it. So I'm looking forward to starting this one. So that's moved joyfully. And I got its card ready, the project card, ready to fill in. And so I have everything ready to go. I tend to kit things up in Ziploc bags like this until I get everything I need. And now that I have everything I need, this will go into one of my new bags that I will be showing you. All right, so that is the... So now for the rest of the Amazon order, this is what I decided to get at Amazon. And there are a dozen of these. And I think they were $31 for the dozen. There are 4 colors. You got the gray, the purple, the green, kind of a mint green, and the denim blue looking one. So I'll just take one to show. And you know, I had certain criteria that I required. I wanted handles because I want to hang these up in my craft room. I have an over-the-door hanger to put them on. And so that was a requirement, was to have something to hang it with. And so, and plus, for carrying, if I take a project to my handcrafters group, I want it to be easy to carry, that I can just put it on my arm and not have to hold, you know, because I carry a lot of stuff, generally speaking. So, you know, my backpack comes with me everywhere I go. And the other thing I liked about this particular type of bag is it has this little, like, I think it's the size of a business card, this little pocket here on the front. Let's see if I can show that adequately. And so I can use my 3x5 cards that I use for all my projects, and I can cut one to fit here, and I can put in here what's in this bag on there. So I can easily identify it without having to, you know, even though it's clear, you can see through these bags. And this is a mesh, and it's not vinyl. I mean, well, it might be made out of vinyl. I don't know. But I didn't want the ones that I've seen, anyway, that are waterproof. This is not waterproof, but I figure there's no water in my craft room, and I can be careful with my lovely unicorn water bottle here. So, and it has 2 compartments, and the zippers aren't real loud or anything. And so it's kind of like a net, like a screen kind of net. And so it's not airtight, it's not watertight, and so it can breathe. And it's such a fine mesh, I don't think a lot of dust will get in there. So it has this main compartment here in the back, zipper, and then the front zipper is, you know, the second compartment. So so my original thought with this was, you know, I could put, you know, maybe put the main piece, put the piece in the main part, and put the threads in the front or something, you know, however I decide to arrange it. But I came up with a different idea that you'll discover shortly. But that's the bag. That's the type of bag I decided to get. So I have a dozen of those to keep all my WIPs in. And I'm very happy with that. And I think that'll help me manage my WIPs much better. Okay, so after I got my Amazon order, And I'll try to remember if I can put a link to that, the type of bag I got, in case anyone's interested in trying these out. Hopefully it's in my order history and I can find the page and link to that page. Okay, then I did a 1, 2, 3 stitch order, part of which were the threads I got for Move Joyfully. And I also heard somebody had recommended to a FlossTuber Peacemaker's needles, and she got them and she really liked them, and I thought, well, since I'm doing an order anyway, I will go ahead and add these in. So I got 26 and 28, and so I'll be trying those soon. So that was a little add-on to my order. I ordered a lot of floss for a lot of projects that I was kitting up. So I guess my hair just attracts everything in the air when it's got that treatment stuff on there. Okay. And I also added, this was on my wish list, and I added this little kit with the flamingo. It's a full coverage, but it's only, what, 2.5 by 2.5 or something like that, and it comes with the frame inside. Little kit. And that was under $2. I thought it was so cute. And I have more of these little tiny mini, I guess they're called minis. And I'm going to make a garland out of them when I get them all finished to hang up in my craft room, because I just think they're so sweet and so cute. So that's my little flamingo. I don't know when I'll get started on that one, but at least I've got it. And the other stuff I got in that order, that 1, 2, 3 stitch order, I'm not going to show everything because that would take forever. But I was able to finish kitting up several projects, and maybe I'll do a different video for that before too long. But I did get, I mentioned earlier about the project that I couldn't find the threads for. Even though I got part of it, I got a good start on this. And it's called There Is a Season. And it comes from, it has verses from Ecclesiastes, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. And it has more of the passage in text on here, but it has this rose type border. So this is the upper left of the top border. So this is the top border on the left, and so that goes around, and then all the text is inside. And this is on 18, I think it's 18, yes, 18 count Aida, and I did, and I think it's just a white, but or an off-white of some kind. And I did it 2/1, and I did the back stitching on this portion, on the roses, and it was pretty hard getting the needle through, with the back stitching and the 2 threads, and I was thinking about changing it to 1/1, but I went back and looked at the pattern, because I had to find out which DMC color or numbers to order, and the pattern itself says 2 threads for the cross stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with it. I might get I probably will need to use a smaller needle. I think I've got a 28 there, but I don't know. We'll see. And so part of that order was the threads, replacing the threads for this project. And let me kind of space them out here. And so I'm excited that I'm going to get to work on this again now that I have all the DMC restored to the project, and I have a bag to put it in, and so hopefully they won't get lost again. and I will be able to finish that project. One of my daughters has laid claim to it, and so we'll see. I want it too, so I might have to make it twice. We'll find out. That should be interesting. So that was that one, and then another thing that I got besides the floss, all the flosses that I got, was a piece of fabric, and it is 28 count Lugana, and let's see, 28 count, yeah, and it's called Coastal. So that's what. So I thought this was a really. It's coming through more blue on my screen. But in real life, it's more green. There's more greenish tint to it, I think. But it looks, and it's got cloudy part, like whitish, that remind me of clouds, and it just reminded me. It'll be perfect for the project I have chosen for. Because the project, let's see, let me put it on here. Maybe it's easier to see on here. The project that this is for is called Cape May Victorians. And so these are, Cape May, so it's coastal. And so I thought this would be the perfect piece of fabric for those houses, those Victorians. And these are, I don't know if there's any cross stitch in them at all. Maybe a little bit here and there, but it's mostly back stitching for all of these. And I got these threads, Sullivan, on clearance at 123 Stitch a few months ago, not knowing what at all I would use it for, but I decided I'm going to use them for this. Instead of using black, I'm going to use this kind of a rose. It's kind of a rose color. And I'm hoping I'll have enough to do both rows of houses with this. I love pink and blue together, even though this is kind of a greenish blue. And I'm hoping I can do both rows. But if I can't, hopefully that's enough thread to do one row. And so we'll see how it works out. But I'm really liking the color combination of the fabric and the threads. And for those Cape May Victorians. And I decided, since I love Victorians, and I decided to get out my Victorian pattern collection, and I thought this might be fun to see, because in addition to Cape May, I have these called Victorian Bed and Breakfast Inns. And I was thinking one of these is the Victorian I've actually been in, called the Carson Mansion in Eureka, California. But it's not. But I think it just has these 4 that you can see on the cover here. And none of the names match up, but so I'll have to visit the Carson Mansion again. I'll have to go to Eureka to remind myself what it actually looks like, but it looks a lot like this one, I think. Now they've got bigger photos, or line drawings in here, which is really pretty. I love, Victorian architecture is my very favorite. So I've always wanted to have a Victorian house. I almost got one in California. It was in too much disrepair, unfortunately. And my former husband was not inclined, was not, we would have had to hire out to fix that. Here's the other two in the line drawings. Anyway, you just can't beat Victorian architecture for intro. I mean, it's just lovely. I love them. And so that's that one. And then I also have this one called Victorian Houses. And I actually had 2 copies of this and gave one to one of my friends at the at my handcrafters group, who also cross stitches. And these are Victorians, in and around the San Francisco Bay Area. Unfortunately, it does not have any enlarged pictures other than those small ones on the front and the back. I'll show you the back. But it also has, in addition to the houses, it has a cable car. It has the Golden Gate Bridge. It has a little heart that says "I love SF," and it has the crookedest street in the world. I can't remember the name of the street, but that one's the crookedest street in the world. So it has several other charts in here besides the Victorians, but it was the Victorian house. It even has a cute little home sweet home. What happened there? Okay, it's got this cute little home sweet home right there. Anyway, so I hope to make several of these one of these days. And then this one is a recent acquisition. I haven't even really had a chance to really peruse yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And I think basically it has rooms. It has other things, but you it's like a cutaway of a Victorian home. And so you have different rooms, and it's got a nice home sweet home on the back. Let me see if I can pull up some others. It has some other sampler type things. That's a cute little poem. Someone came knocking at my wee small door. Someone came knocking, I'm sure, sure, sure. I listened, I opened, I looked to left and right, but not there was a stirring in the still dark night. So you got that with a little teddy bear down here. I don't know. That seems kind of scary for a kid, but anyway. Let's see if I can find something else that's not one of the rooms. Old gardeners never die. They just spade away and then throw in the trowel. That's good. I like that one. So there's little samplers like that, as well as the main house. And there's your gardener. Right. Well, let's see. I don't want to show those. Let's see. Do I have any paper? I'll just grab this again. You got the gardener, so you could make this little piece to go with that little gardening thing. The gardener. Anyway, so it's a big hardbound book. It's, let's see, 125 pages, I think. So, so that'll be fun to, for me to play with. And here's a little family scene. So it's all very Victorian looking. So I'm gonna have fun going through that one. And also I have this one, which isn't Victorian houses, I don't think, but it's Vanessa Ann's Victorian cross stitch. So it has Victorian style cross stitch, and I haven't really gone extensively through this. I do like these hearts, the floral themed hearts here. I like those. But I don't think there are any Victorian houses in here, but I grabbed it while I was grabbing the other Victorians. And there's a nice kind of current theme, Be Mine. I just love the photographs in these books too. So that's that one. I also forgot to mention with my container concept thing that I actually have a 13th bag, and that is my black velvet kitty cat backpack, black and gold sparkly. And this is my to-go bag. So I figured I can have 10 WIPs in these bags, or 12 WIPs in these bags. And I can have a 13th as my, take-along bag. And because it stores my my magnet board and my magnet board easel and my LED magnifier that sits on my chest. So for taking projects on the go, so I basically am going to try to manage 13. So this one is assigned to my current focus, so whatever I'm currently working on. So maybe not. Maybe I still have to keep it to the 12 bags and only take it out and put it in the kitty cat backpack for when I'm actually going to be having it going with me places and stuff. So that brings me to WIPGO. I've never done WIPGO before, but I looked into it, and I think it's Jessie Marie that does it, and I'll try to include links to all these things that, when I go through and watch the video, I try to make notes, put this link in, put that. And so I made myself a WIPGO card on my 3x5 cards. And so it looks like this. It's 5x5. And I picked out, I even filled in the center square, which seems kind of apropos. It's the Fighting Demons sampler in that number 13. And I have Cape May Victorians up here. So this my WIPGO card includes current WIPs as well as kits and projects I've kitted up myself that are ready to start. And I decided I can manage all 25 of these with what I have, because each of these bags has 2 pockets. And so I'm going to see if everything, after I finish this video, is when I'm going to put everything away in these bags. And I'm going to see if I can fit 24 projects in these 12 bags, and then have my 25th be, what I'm currently working on. And so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I got out all my project cards, all these project cards, and shuffled them up, wrote them on here, and then I checked the numbers. And so I got the first 2 numbers. And so the first one, so since I've been working on family origins, I decided the way I want to do WIPGO is to have, that you come up with 2 numbers, and I think at least 1 month in the year you do 3 numbers, because if 13 comes up, she draws an extra number. So, so what I've decided, since the majority are 2 numbers, that I will work a week. So this is my target goal. We'll see if it works out for me. Work a week on each of the 2 WIPGO numbered projects. And then for the rest of the month, work on whatever I want. So, that could be 1 project for the whole rest of the month, or it might be multiple, who knows. But for this month, for January, and since I didn't join in at back in December so that I could start on January 1st, and I was already working on family origins, the family tree, I'm like I said, I think I'm going to finish my rotation on that on page 1 tonight, and tomorrow I will start with the first number, which is here is the palette for this. It's I think it's 80 some colors. And this is the only color I'm currently working with is B5200. And this is Cats in Floral Hats. And I have made it onto the second motif of the lace border that goes all the way around the 4 cats that are wearing floral hats. So it's very long horizontally, not as long vertically. And this is on, if I forgot to tell the stuff about other fabrics, I'm sorry, but anyway, this one is on, I'm trying to get used to remembering to do that. So Cats in Floral Hats is on a 32 count lavender Lugana. And I love the color. It's coming through pretty well. And I'm using the called for DMCs. And I started it on September 1st, 2021. So it is an older WIP. And wouldn't it be lovely to get it done? And I'm pretty sure I'm using one of the Easy Guide ball tip needles. No, I'm not. No wonder. I need to switch that. No, I think it is. Anyway, I'll double check that before I get started on it, hopefully tomorrow. And I'll work for a week on that. So Cats in Floral Hats, not much to see there. All of these cross stitches in the lace border, as well as the long stitches and back stitches, are one strand of B5200. And then you go back and or I'm going to go back. I'm not going to do it while I'm doing this part, but the French knots are with 2 strands. So we'll see how that looks, but it's a beautiful piece. I just love looking at it, at the picture that comes with the pattern. So I think we've gotten to the end. The WIPGO was the last thing I was going to talk about. And did anything else come up? I don't think so. I never pulled up the Family Origins family tree, but that'll start showing up and be easy to see pretty soon. Hopefully the next time I can work on it, I can do all of page 2. Hi, Rosie. Oh. I always feel like I'm forgetting something important, but probably not. And if I do, I'll just talk about it next time. So yeah, we'll see how my bags work for filling up, so I can have 25 projects. I don't think that puts me in the 24 new starts in 24, maybe 12 or 13 new starts. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. And I got this, where did I put it? Maybe that's what I was trying to remember. It's in this stack somewhere. Oh, well. Anyway. Oh, whoa, no, we don't want that to happen. All right, here it is. Peacock Tapestry. I saw that, I can't remember her name. I believe but her channel name is Fibers and Floss Canada, I believe. She is working on this piece. And I thought, wow, I have that leaflet, I have that chart. And I have not looked closely at this, but since seeing her start on this and the things she's been talking about in regard to this is a Teresa Wentzler chart, and there are a lot of colors. She says there's a lot of colors and it's a lot of blended needles. Yes, it is. I can see it right there. Wow, look at all those. I don't think this will, be a problem, but those are all the colors. You've got 3 columns of colors. That is a lot. So I don't know. I'll probably just watch, I'll enjoy it vicariously watching her while she does it and learning. But the way I am, it's like, oh, that's just so beautiful. That's why I got it, because I wanted to make it. But I don't know if that'll happen. Oh, I know what the other thing was too. The second number for WIPGO, I have that one. I have the fabric and I have the floss, but the pattern hasn't arrived yet. So hopefully by the time I finish working for a week on cats and floral hats, I'll have that pattern in hand and can get started on that one. If not, I'll just draw a random number, or I'll just pick one that I want to work on, and then wait for the, maybe, I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. Since I've never done WIPGO, I'm not sure how to juggle things. And since I did my heart's desire for the beginning of the month in February, I'm going to try to go ahead and start with the WIPGO number projects for the first 2 weeks, and then the rest of February work on something else I want to do. I don't know if it'll come from the WIPGO board or if it'll be something like this. We'll see. All right. Well, I hope you're having a wonderful day and you're getting to stitch a lot. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.